All right. First off, let me say my allergies today are out of control, so I'm going to try not to be too sniffy and sneezy, but there might be a little bit of that, so fair warning. Um, Secondly, all the news today, I think, is about unfortunately sick kittens. Now, nobody's doing too poorly, thank goodness, but we've got to do something to get this stuff knocked out. They've got mostly the symptom that they've got the most of is just really bad poop. And it doesn't have that Giardia smell to it anymore, but Giardia doesn't always smell. It does have the characteristic color, this sort of yellowness, and it's also just bad diarrhea. So we've got a little bit of it in both rooms. We've seen at least Gabe and his sister had it over there, and I think his sister's pretty much recovered. By his sister, I mean Rafter. So I think Rafter's pretty much recovered. Gabe is still on the mend, but I'm happy to say he's doing much better today. So Gabe was put in quarantine. He's been hanging out in the spa, and I did that because I didn't want him to be sort of pooping in the box with all the other kittens that weren't as sick, because it is a mess when he does it, and then they just go right in, and that family always poops together, and they all get covered in it, and I'm sure it's not good for any of them. So that's why Gabe is quarantined right now. Then in here, we've taken Cuddles this morning and moved her over to the spare room, aka Brooke's room, where lots of mom cats have sort of ended up staying, now the rainbow room, whatever you want to call it, basically right across the hall. And the reason that I've decided to do it that way, as opposed to maybe any of the other potential solutions, are first and foremost that she is extremely difficult to medicate. Well, I shouldn't say that because she's not that hard to actually get the medicine into, but it really damages our relationship, and it's not fun for either of us. And I would rather avoid doing it. So she's not difficult in the traditional sense, but she is difficult in the sense of it's just not good. So that's one reason I wanted to move her over there, because then I can put the meds into her food. And I tried it this morning. It worked great. I gave her the dewormer and some Tylenol powder. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's another type of medicine that we use for bad poops sometimes, very rarely. But I put both of those in her food, and they both taste terrible, especially the Tylenol powder tastes awful. But I put it in chicken for her, and she ate the whole thing. So that's great news, because that means it's a nice, easy way to medicate her where she's not going to get upset about it. I'm really happy. I just can't do that in here because she doesn't eat it all at once, and the kittens in here would eat it, and we don't want to mix it up that way. And it's much better having her on her own for that process. And then the reason that she has to stay over there even after she's done eating is, for now, I think that it's good for us to keep them separated, just to sort of try to, I guess, give us a little bit, not exactly quarantine, because these guys are sick, and she's probably sick with it too, but sort of to keep it separated and give us a way to sort of divide and conquer. That's how I would put it. What we've got going on. So I think that's good. I think there's other reasons to do it too. We can't just put the suit on her to get her to stop nursing, because I know that she's going to be miserable, and that's going to damage our relationship the same way that meds would. And while they're sick, all the time, but especially while they're sick, we would want to change that suit every day. It would be a process for us, and it's just not good. And then finally, it's just a fact that kittens socialize with humans better once they're kind of separated from their mom a little bit. And I think that is going to help these kids quite a bit too. So that's the plan, is to keep her separated until further notice. Not forever, of course, unless it turns out that she's just ready to go and she gets over them. That could be the possibility. But at least for the next day or two, while we get her on her meds, and if we see her poops come back to good, and we see these kittens come back to good, we can probably bring them back together and be okay. But I'm waiting for that to happen first. Similarly, with Sky next door, I haven't put a suit on her yet, but I think she kind of needs one. But what I was saying to DJ this morning about that suit decision for Sky is if she has good poops and her kittens have good poops and everybody's healthy and gaining weight and it looks like they're fine, then I don't need to put the suit on her. And if they vomit up a little bit of cheese here and there, so be it. As long as everything else is good, we can just ignore that for now. We won't have to put the suit on Sky at all. On the other hand, if there's bad poops and losing weight and that kind of thing, we'll probably end up getting a suit on her. So that's the plan, that's the story. The bottom line is that right now, Gabe is doing much better, but not quite back yet. We might bring him back, by this evening or tomorrow if he continues to improve this quickly. And then in here, I've taken the weights today, and Marsh and PJ up here are both really feeling it. And like I said, I've seen the bad poops. I don't necessarily know who has the bad poops, but the weight chart makes it pretty clear it's Marsh and PJ that are probably having the bad poops. I started them on metronidazole, the antibiotic, and everybody's on dewormer again right now. And as soon as I'm done with mailbag, I'll probably take a break as soon as I'm done with mailbag, like I said. I think I said I'm just haven't been getting enough sleep, so I'll take a few minutes. But today I need to clean and sterilize this room again and get them a fresh litter box now that we've got Mom out of the room and kind of try to get things back under control. It worked really well next door as far as I'm concerned, and now it's time to focus in here because they're having the same kinds of issues. Now, I know everybody's probably going to want to know, are we going to bring the two groups together? Like, well, how come we can't just open this door and mingle the classes? And one reason is the divide and conquer idea. I don't want to bring them all together all the time while they're sick like this. I'd rather try to sort of separate it out and give us more chances to get things fixed up. But that is definitely the plan. If they weren't having bad poops today, that door would be open right now, and Sky would be mingling with all the kittens, and it would be great fun for everybody. It's all part of the plan. We might get some opportunities to have them come for limited visits, and we might get some opportunities to have their mom come in here for a limited observed visit, a little bit here and there. But, limited to where I can watch them and keep an eye on who's in the litter box when and make sure that there's not a pile on and they're all eating each other's poop and stuff. We got to keep a real close eye on it. So that's the plan. I think that covers pretty much all of the news. Of course, I have to mention that Monday and Holiday are getting picked up by their adopter on the 11th, as far as I know. And Calendar still needs an adopter, and I'm surprised that she hasn't found that yet, since she's so adorable. She's sweet on people. She's hyperactive, playful, just a sweet, all-arounder, perfect cat, in my opinion. And she gets along pretty well with everybody. The only one that she's got any trouble with here is Maggie, and that's par for the course. That shouldn't really count against her. She also likes to yell at the door over here with the kittens, but that, I think, is just a mom cat thing. So I think she would get along with pretty much anybody's cat. She's just great. I don't have to advertise for her, though. You guys will see that. Now I've got to put all this stuff away and I guess put those kids somewhere. They might as well come in here while I'm cleaning their room, and then they can go back and then I can clean this room and make up for it, right? I think that's a plan. That's just what we're going to have to do. But first I'm going to have DJ take our little quarantine patient back so that if he has some poops, and I don't see it, then we'll know what to do. I think that's the right way to go. Of course, there's a possibility those other kids are going to have that kind of poop too. That's fine. You know what? We'll play it by ear. I think we're really doing a good job of getting these guys on the mend now that we've split them up, and they're starting to feel better, and we've seen some recoveries already. I'm feeling very positive about it. So I was feeling pretty negative about it yesterday, to be honest. I mean, not like I thought there was going to, be some terrible outcome. That was never the case. But it was certainly getting me down a lot more yesterday than it is today. So that's good. It's good stuff.